And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience podcast right now. This is your host, Chris. We got Jesse with us. What's up, dude?
What's up? How's it going, guys?
And we have two special guests on this show. We have Chris Adler and James LoMenzo of Firstborne. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Nice to see you guys, man. Wonderful to be here today.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's such an
Anytime,
honor to have you guys.
anytime. Yeah, it's been a huge honor. And we also do this on like a audio-based only shows as well. So there's like Spotify and all that. So if you could just introduce yourselves so people get used to your name and just say what you do in the band. And James, if you want, you can start.
Okay, I'm James LoMenzo, bass player for the band Firstborne.
I'm Chris Adler and play drums with my buddies in Firstborne.
Yeah, there we go. So
There
super
we go.
stoked to have you guys on. It's been really cool to see you guys with this new EP. Very strong first like debut, I would say. I wasn't sure what I was gonna hear based with all your guys, associated acts, Lamb of God, Megadeth, like all this stuff you have going on. So it was really cool to hear what sound you guys came out with. Was there a certain like you knew you wanted this sound, or did it just happen along the way, just jamming with your friends?
For me, it was kind of the beginning of certainly the next chapter in my life after leaving Lamb of God. And I, as a kid growing up, having a dream and wanting to follow in the footsteps of my favorite bands, I helped create Lamb of God, and I pushed it in every direction that I could that was close enough to my dream, and really created the band I always wanted to be in. It was, just a little bit harder than Pantera. It was a little bit more, well, I don't know. Now that I've been in Megadeth, I'm not going to say it's any more dangerous than that, but it was, pushing those kind of boundaries of heavy. And I was also a big fan of like a lot of early hardcore stuff. So I wanted to bring that kind of energy into it, but with the technical proficiency. And I don't think there will be, necessarily a better band for my initial thought on going into making music than what I got lucky enough to spend most of my life doing, which was kind of fighting the good fight for Lamb of God. Coming out of that, James will probably tell you the same, I got to tour with not only my heroes, but just a ton of other great acts, people, got to know a lot of people, had a great time here and there, realized that, like, I really have no idea what I'm doing when I was talking to some of these people that have been around either for a long time or even for a short amount of time with people with great natural talent, and learned to kind of love and respect everything that was going on within the really limited scope of what we were doing. And of course, I still love it. That's what I listen to. I love metal. That's kind of my 24/7 thing. But coming out of that, it was like, well, I would love to do something similar, but I didn't have a recipe necessarily in mind, other than, can I work with people that are also interested in doing something? And I have to credit Myron, who was the first guy that I got in touch with about doing this project. He was a guitar player. And he said, I would be insane to not do something with you, but I just want to make sure, do you know how to have fun? And
Wow.
that was kind of like I knew that was right then, because that's all that I really wanted to do. And it didn't have to be a totally different genre, but it didn't have to be this kind of concept of coming in and saying like, well, this has to be heavier than this has to be heavier than this, it has to sound a lot like this. We're really kind of putting up gates initially. And his first question was like, do you know how to have fun? And it was like, that's all I really want to do. So I don't care really what it sounds like. I mean, I probably would have fell off if it got too out there. But if it's got distorted guitars and we can bring in some other friends, and I'm all about having fun at this point. I kind of made my point as far as I'm concerned with Lamb of God. I don't think anybody can take that away from at least where I'm at in my head about it. So now, like, what's next? And why not just have fun with it? And James and I have been crossing paths and spending time on the road for years, and always loved James. I'd always find James. I would come into whatever room he was in to kind of see what was going on, and just on tour you get to be friends with everybody. And he wasn't necessarily like a recluse, but James, as friendly as he is, he was one of the harder guys to get to because he was always busy just kind of sitting in a corner, keeping to himself with a bass on his lap and playing bass. And I played bass for a long time before I played drums. And it always mystified me. Like, I've never sat around and just played bass by myself in like a party. And I saw him doing over and over and over again. And so that's kind of how we started talking. Like, you know, I love the instrument as well. And I see you doing this. Like, James is more passionate about his instrument than probably anybody I've ever met. And then we just kind of struck it up. He's kind of the cute, quiet guy in the corner that you want end up wanting to marry. So that's kind of where we're at.
Oh. Well, I'll have to ask my wife about that one, Chris, but I might take your proposal on. I already have, come to think of it. Wait a minute.
But, you know, I think James probably has a different perspective on it. But no, there was no going into it. It turned out to be just what it was. There was no recipe. We're not going to sound like this band. We're not going to do this. Like, here are really 4 different elements of kind of what can be done in this genre. Like, what do we feel like in the end having fun doing, and not stressing out about like, how in the hell am I going to play this, or what is the audience going to, you know, think of me because I used to do this. It was like, what are we going to be good at doing, and what are we going to have fun doing, and be able to talk to each other about and be like, you know what, I don't care if anybody likes it. We're having a great time.
Sounds awesome. Yeah. Well, it was an awesome first, like, the EP was awesome. It was interesting, the sound, honestly, because I was like the guitar, everything sounded like, you know, like it kicks in, it's pretty metal, but then the vocals kind of give it a different like sound. Like I couldn't put it on my finger on it, but I will say it's interesting that the drums can make it like a different genre almost. Because if I just listen to the guitars and vocals, I would think it's probably, I couldn't put my finger on it, like I said, but it was like interesting that you still have like a signature sound that follows you. You know, it's kind of like, not that I'm going to jerk you off here on camera, but I was just like, yeah, there's my man there. He's awesome. And then hearing everybody together, I was like, this is fucking interesting as hell, especially because I never heard of, I think the singer's name, Grishna is his name? Garish, yeah. Like, how did you guys meet that guy? Because that guy has an amazing voice.
Well, first, let's let James have a shot at how he got involved in this.
Of course. James.
Sorry.
Okay, actually, chronologically, this works beautifully. First of all, guys, thanks for having us on the show. We appreciate it.
Of course. Oh, it's awesome.
I finally got to spend some quality time with Chris during a trip to the Mideast with Hale. This Hale band has been out for a number of years, and what it is it's this kind of roving amalgam of famous metal musicians who get together and just do these gigs like at the furthest corners of the world. We've been to Beirut, we've been to the Ukraine. You know, basically we get off of the big stages and we put on our guitars, we carry our guitars, and we carry maybe some drum stuff, and we go and play at these little clubs or, you know, small theaters all over the world for people who normally don't get to be close and personal with people who make the music they love. So anyway, I was delighted to hear that Chris was going to be part of this last run. And well, first of all, I have to say that, you know, when I had read along with everybody else that Chris was out of Lamb of God, I thought back to when we were on tour together with Megadeth. And it just really seemed like he had the control of that band, in that, you know, he was kind of their leader. That's the way it looked to me. And so when he was out, it was like, that's a unique surprise, you know, because I never saw that coming. And so then when I found out that he had agreed to come with us and do these shows in where did we go? Went to Dubai and Bahrain. I was thrilled because, you know, finally I was going to get to play with him. You know, I used to get to watch him play all the time. We all know how great he is. You can hold your ears now, Chris. And so I was thrilled, and so we got together, and you know, we started writing. And you know, this Hale thing is just. It's a lot of covers, you know, it's a lot of stuff that we love to listen to that we get to play, and we just kind of like just put it right over the plate. And so when we got out there and started playing this stuff, we were having a blast. I mean, it was as simple as that, you know. And, you know, I felt Chris had perhaps a little bit of trepidation because we had discussed later on that he was still trying to figure out what he was looking to accomplish going forward, musically, among other things. And so what he started saying things to me like, I really, I'm thinking of some ideas about making music. And at one point, Chris, you told me, can you give me Warren DeMartini's number? I'm a friend with Warren's. And I said, of course, man, that'd be great. And so at that point, I said, hey, listen, if you're going to make some music, don't forget to call your buddy James, And it's like, oh, of course, man. So before I knew it, I mean, I can kind of see, what Chris's role in Lamb of God was, because all of a sudden he's on his way after we finish these shows to go to India, right? I'm getting texts on the plane going, hey, what do you think of this music? Do you like this? Do you like this song? So the first thing I heard was this really obscure tune. It was actually like a video game sounding thing. And it was so off what I would have expected that Chris would have offered, that I thought, is he fucking with me? Because if he is, because if he is, this is still actually pretty good. It's just not it's not what I would expect. So I believe I wrote you back, Chris, and actually said that. I said, this is really great, man. This is unexpected, but sure. And he says, well, I do this with this guy, Myron, that I had met, and I'm wondering we should maybe put together some music and stuff. And so before I knew it, I got back home. Chris went off to do a clinic tour right off of the heels of that. And I started getting music from Myron, the stuff that they'd been working on. And I listened to it. I said, well, no, this is more into the metal thing that I'm used to. And so I started applying to that. And all of a sudden I start getting this other text. It's Chris again. And he's going, yeah, I'm in India. I found our singer.
Oh, there you go.
And that is right. I guess Chris could take it from here, but that's like the formation of this band, the four of us. And before I turn over to Chris, I have to say that what we've come up with now is this weird version of Stone Soup. We just throw what we got into the pot because we can't get together because of what's going on right now. And we basically trust each other. We'll be a great musician and somehow we'll, kind of figure out what the music is. And I got to tell you, I mean, to my ear, that when the stuff was coming to me, I was going, this is fantastic. Listen to Myron. He sounds like Eddie Van Halen and B.B. King. And listen to Chris just plowing through this stuff and actually making it using his skill set that only he has in his signature sound and kind of tying it together in a very unique way. And then me, I'm just slathering my usual noisy bass like I've been doing for 30 years. And for whatever reason, it seems to work, and then all of a sudden Garish comes down from the heavens, and it comes in with this somewhere between, I don't even know how to describe him, but I hear Ronnie James Dio and Judas Priest and pick the singer from the 80s that you love most. He's got all of that, so we have this really weird, but really ultimately satisfying kind of like homage to metal, across the board at this point.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of what I thought when I listened to it. I was just like, one, I didn't really know too much about Myron and Garish. Is that? Yeah. So I like good. I hate messing people's names up. I should have read more. But I was just like blown away because again, like I said, so many different genres. It felt like combined. It was still like hard rock. It still was metal. It was like all these different like things, and it was just like all you guys' signature styles kind of coming in and working. And it's kind of great, especially as a first go around, because, sometimes when a lot of all-star people get together, it doesn't really work. And it's great when you have all these talented people. And it sounds like you guys were a band on the run, like almost like you guys were getting dressed out the door. And you guys are just calling, hey, here's a tune, you riff over here, sing over this. And you guys just like, yeah, pretty damn good for literally making a band on a plane, basically, it seems like.
A lot of that is pretty close to true. But I think James actually during we put out like a little press release with that EP, and I think he put it best, and I don't want to misquote, but it was basically like there's something really unique about what's going on here, but it's entirely full of what's familiar. And that's, as fans, that's kind of where we're coming from. Like you can take it everywhere from Arch Enemy and Pantera back to Rat. Like everything is kind of mixed up in here to a point where I think anybody that really likes, punching their steering wheel while they're driving is going to be able to take something out of it.
Oh yeah.
with the songs that you've had on this EP, were any of them kind of like, did you have some of these ideas like stewing for a while and you were just waiting for the right time to like implement them in like
It
Firstborne?
actually happened pretty quick. Well, in the end, it happened pretty quick because we were trying to figure out during this pandemic, like, how do we go about this? Because now we're starting to kind of stockpile, this music. And so we went back to the very early stuff, and that was, really good. But as we were progressing, things were getting better and better. So, same thing with everything. You start drawing, you start doing art, whatever, you get better as you go. But at what point do you just say, like, hey, here's something, and let's go? And the whole model of the music industry is gone at this point, not only because of Corona, but just because the change in times and how people communicate with each other, whether it be music or otherwise. So there was no point in waiting for, and I don't think anybody really had great hopes of being picked up and getting some major label advance and, we're going to take over the world, because it's just not happening anymore. We're not doing hip hop.
You have to be able to go to the world to take it over. So right there, we're advanced.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, it wasn't that we had this great concept and infrastructure like a band like Clutch, who's kind of made their living, doing it their own way, making their own label. We didn't have, all of that, but there was really no point in us. There was no pot of gold at the end of some rainbow. It was like, well, we got this great music. We can, of course, there's always going to be another knob to turn. And yes, the song we just wrote today is probably better than the second one on the EP. I don't know, but let's just do this. Like, we're having fun. It doesn't have to be packaged for consumption. This is what we do. We're having fun doing it. And going back to my earlier point, if we're all kind of happy, and I'm not ignorant in the fact that we're talking to you and trying to put this out there to ear holes that might want to hear it, but at the same time, it really is about us. We're not catering to that entirely, and nor are any of us in a position to say, like, well, I'm really, I'm not sure if I'm going to make my rent this month. Can we put out this single real quick and see what PayPal comes back with? It's not, we're not in that spot. So we're enjoying each other's abilities and company to kind of continue to do this. It's kind of where it's at.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty smart way to approach it, because you usually tell when a band's not being like organic with it. You can tell when they're trying to force a sound or something like that. And I noticed with all these, at least I think you have 3 singles with lyric videos, correct?
We do. Yep.
Yeah. So are you planning on releasing like lyric videos for each track and then like a actual music video or anything of like along those lines?
So we do have James can tell you more about it. We do have an idea for a performance video, which is in the works. But right now we're kind of I think we're more trying to figure out out of the, I don't know, 10 or 12 new songs we have, like which 4 or 5 are going to go on the next EP, or is it going to be a single, or do we just release an album, or it's kind of like we're kind of creating our own wake here. There's no right or wrong answer. We do the lyric video thing is great because we all get to pitch in and say, like, well, I like that imagery, that kind of fits the song, but it's really, again, man, you talked about it being organic and that being something noticeable. That's one of the conversations I had very often with Lamb of God. We can have whatever formula it is, but unless we really vibe with this, it's not going to be contagious. Like, what we have to be like super psyched about that next part. We have to be super psyched about that next song, or else it's just not contagious. You're going through the motions, and at some point you go through some motions. After, I don't know, 7, 8 albums or whatever. But right now we're kind of at this kind of love affair where everything's super fresh and moving forward. So we do have a new lyric video in the works for now, for potentially the first single off the next, or maybe single or next EP, but it's not even you're kind of broaching our furthest point at this time. So we've got a ton of material. We're just trying to figure out what to do with it and the best way for us to release it.
Is there a difference between like putting out the EP route or the full album approach for you guys, or is it just finishing the songs?
we're just honestly, I mean, James can tell you if he thinks so. We certainly talk about it and think about it, but we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of this. That's the beauty of the system. Actually, we have no master plan.
Yeah, without a label, without a manager, and we've been speaking to managers and booking agents. It's great that we have some interest in what our future is, but we're just kind of making it up as we go. And if we feel good about something, we want to put it out and share it with not only our friends and neighbors, but just see what the world thinks. Or I'm not sitting here trying to figure out what the world thinks, but here's what we got. Apparently, a lot of people like what we've done in the past individually. So here's what we got going on. I hope it makes your day better.
This is the most secluded garage band you'll ever meet. I mean,
That's awesome.
From what I can tell from all the musicians involved, we have an inexhaustible amount of music that we can make. And it just occurred to me now, maybe we jinx it by getting together. Maybe we should just stay this way for a while longer.
Well, if we do get together, I want to be in that room. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. He has everything there.
James saw flexing over there, right there. Every
What's
guitar. I said, you're flexing over there. Look at that room.
No, that's about as efficient as I can make my space. I've been recording all week,
Dude.
so that I grab it and I play it and then I put it on the wall and go to the next song.
So what do you guys say? What would you say is like the track you had the most fun with? I know like every track is usually like everyone says it's fun, but there has to be one that stuck out to you guys.
It'd be different for each of us.
Go ahead.
No, I mean,
James,
the thing is, I think that it's just like the last one is always the best one because that's the new one, that's the one you're excited about,
right.
And we're always like, because now that we've got like this very short lineage of music that we've been doing, it's just deep down in there, you're trying to top it in some way because you're starting to see how this kind of form comes together. Like this band is starting to create something, and so we have something to run on. Take it away, Chris.
Yeah, so my favorite fits into what he's saying, but not necessarily chronologically. My favorite tune on that whole thing is a song called Hunter Hunted, which I believe is the last song on the EP. And that was one of the very early songs that we wrote. But the reason it's my favorite, and just to give you guys a little more insight as to how kind of homegrown and we don't know what the hell we're doing kind of vibe on this, is a very, very good friend of mine came down to stay for a couple days at my house, and he's actually a digital designer. He's done the artwork, the symbol with the heart and the wings and that kind of thing for the band. And I got a bedroom for him, and one of my kids has a rabbit, and my daughter has a cat. And while he was sleeping here, the rabbit and the cat were kind of battling each other through the night. Both of them somewhat nocturnal and hiding and jumping on each other and doing all this stuff. And he actually woke up in the middle of the night, watched them do it, and wrote the lyrics to that song. So that song, The Hunter Hunted, is all about the rabbit coming out of the cage and kind of kicking the cat's ass.
Wow.
All right.
and Garish took that and obviously, made it sound like, some sort of bar fight, I'm going to kick your ass kind of song. But the truth is, it's just all about house pets.
Well, that's an awesome way to get free lyrics, basically. It's like, hey, I got a song for it. It's like, nice. Being woken up and just annoyed all through the night actually paid off for once. Thank God. Also, that's like the break that ends pretty hard, too. I remember like that one caught me by surprise. Like that's the song with that breakdown at the end, right?
Yeah, and I think that was the point where I was really pushing the boundaries of Myron's concept of fun. I was like, well, yeah, it's also fun to have like a breakdown where you want to punch somebody in the face. So I'm trying to hold up my end, but
Myron, it's time to open this pit. That's all I'm saying.
A fun pit. Everybody's smiling in the pit.
No one goes down to the ground. It's all above, right? It's only body shots. Only body shots in this pit, all right?
That's good. I like it. With masks.
Yeah.
So when writing this record too, did you guys all stick to your own instruments, or did you guys lend like Chris, like you're the drummer, but did you add some guitar, and James, did you add some guitar riffs? You know, like did you guys mix instruments?
For my part of that, yes. So Myron and I go back and forth fairly often, and I am the worst guitar player on at least my entire block. Certainly in my house. I am not good at it. But I did bring a few like kind of rhythmic chug kind of breakdown concepts to Lamb of God, that kind of thing. But I am not, you don't want me at a campfire.
Well, he never showed you any licks?
No. But I did play piano for 8 years, and so Myron would send me these things, and I would send back potential rhythm concepts. Some of them Garish took vocally, some of them Myron then put a second guitar on, and oftentimes, if Myron was here, he'd tell you, like, I really kind of dig what you're doing here with the drums. What if, you know, we switched it up here and went to, you know, kind of halftime there, or what if you added a fill here, that kind of thing. So I would not say that I added any guitar parts, but we were definitely collaborative on the whole process. And I think that's the same is probably true with James and Myron, who have a not separate, but a unique, same kind of unique working relationship that myself and Myron.
We're the string section, dude.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I have to jump on the rhythm section, and then I have to jump onto the string section. So I've got.
Well, look at you, straddling the line.
Yeah, man. I have my way with both of you. I like it.
Old fence sitter James.
But we just did a new song that you don't know about yet, and yeah, I threw some vocal parts on with Myron, which is really cool. I mean, yeah, all of a sudden, different things are starting to occur to us as we move along onto this isolated musical journey of ours.
And it is becoming more of us as we kind of get through this, because we're in many ways getting to know each other, getting to know what each other can do. Every time James comes back with a bass part on what we sent him, you know, now out of nowhere there's a cello on it and some background vocals. It's like, whoa, what just happened? Like, that's cool. What if we did this? Like, what if we did? So we're kind of learning about each other and what we're capable of doing. I'm sure when Myron sent me the stuff, he didn't expect me to send back keyboard stuff or acoustic guitar stuff on top of it. So we're constantly progressing and getting maybe more aware of each other's capabilities going forward. So, you know, I'm not going to say the new stuff is better than the old stuff, but, you know, looking back now, like, man, this new EP is going to really crush the first, that's for sure.
In a different way. But the interesting thing is, you know, everybody, it's a weird situation. I mean, I've played with a lot of bands. I've worked in a lot of bands. I've been part of a few bands. And being part of this band is really exciting because there's this wonderful sensibility that everybody has. Everybody kind of knows where everything goes, you know, within their own ability and their own style. And fortunately, through serendipitous luck, it seems to my ear, it seems to really work together, you know. And so based on that, I think the fun that we're having, because we really can't get together and have some drinks like most bands would at this point. Right. But the fun that we're having is really kind of enjoying hearing what everybody's kind of throwing into the mix. And like, you know, there's this weird, like, no judgment thing. Everybody's like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I would have done if I were a drummer. That's exactly the way I would have sung it if I could sing it all.
Dude, that's the greatest thing you could hear. The worst is when it's like, yeah, we all hate each other's ideas and it's just pulling teeth the entire time. It's a great time. We're having a great time. It's awesome. Just fights every single time.
Yeah, I was in that band too.
Well, it sounds like you guys are having Christmas every time you open up an email. It's like, oh, I got a file. Let's see this. And it's just another great idea, which is awesome. Because
it's actually becoming a bit intimidating for me right now anyway, because Myron he's a workhorse, and that's his, you know, he's made his young career like doing this for himself. So I think this is outside of he was lead guitar in Rock of Ages in LA, and he's done some like production work as well. But I don't think he's just necessarily been in kind of the band setting before. And like James said, we can't get together and like kind of go through these ideas and be like, I don't know about that one next. But so I'm getting, multiple ideas a day where I'm, now, we're not in the room, but it's becoming like inundating where I couldn't spend 36 hours in a row and get done with everything that this guy's like pumping out. So it's incredible. We really have, and what, like going back to what James said, like the ability that everybody has in the band is unbelievable. I wouldn't say it's unmatched, but we're good at what we do. And to have this kind of just waterfall of ideas, especially coming from Myron, is just like, it's a real gift, especially at this point in my career where I, kind of wanted to do something maybe not quite as brutal, maybe not quite as brutally time intensive, but there's just all this incredible amount of music and quality stuff that I really want to be a part of. So I'm putting things off till I can work on this guitar bit, because it's exciting. Like I'm excited again, and that's what I was going for.
Well, that's glad to hear. Especially also, I'm gonna guess here. There's no like sound, like, because you guys said you didn't really decide on a sound. It sounds like you guys are willing to go wherever like the music kind of takes you. Is that right? Or are you guys gonna try to stick within a little bit, maybe outside, like a little outside the fence of what this EP was? Or are you guys willing to like go wherever it takes you? Not like saying like become like a crazy prog band, but if it goes there for some weird reason, it's just like 13-8, dude. See what happens. So just some crazy time signatures for some reason.
Well, that's a terrific idea.
There you go. Sorry, Chris. I
don't think anything's off the table.
That's awesome.
I think at least the early stuff, I think Myron really was slightly catering to kind of my background, like wanting it to, is this heavy enough? I don't know. Is it heavy enough? But now that, we've kind of gotten through those kind of early relationship hurdles, it really is wide open. And James and I have had some really good conversations about taking this, maybe not this version of the band, but a concept where the four of us kind of broadened strokes a little bit. And we've, here's another name of another band, and, going in those directions that you're talking about, where there's nothing really holding us back other than the concept of, like what you said, like, well, this is Firstborne. It's supposed to sound like this. So, okay, what if we did a song that sounded like this? Does that mean we throw it out? Maybe not. Maybe we just kind of put it out under a different thing. And the four of us can do anything. So why aren't we?
Well, yeah, with the talent in this band, like just between you two, I think you guys have about, maybe not including demos, I think like 14 or 13 albums just between you two, not including Myron's, all of his like producing and like solo work, and and it's just like, yeah, why not? Also, you don't, like you say, you don't have a label, you don't have managers, so it's like the reason people lock themselves down to a genre is like, one, they're trying to make money, so they're afraid their fan base will castrate them for not having that chorus I like, or why aren't you heavy anymore? Yeah. Now it's like, fuck it. If we want to add a choir, like, why not? I don't care. Like, it's just like, let's add a didgeridoo for some reason. It's like you kind of can do whatever you want.
I was certainly stuck in that mold of, well, this is working. Why would we possibly change it?
Yeah.
Because, now, maybe I'm not renting anymore. I bought a house. Like, don't change it too much. Like, this is
right. Yeah.
Right.
But now it's like, well, yeah, we could do that, and we could stay true to what we're supposed to be, but at the same time, why? Like, let's do whatever kind of we come up with, and take that with, we all love heavy music, so it's not going to go in this crazy weird direction where it's like, well, they just put out a pop song, or what the fuck is that? It could get more progressive. It could get maybe a little more, I don't know, somewhere between Dream Theater and Alice in Chains. I think we're kind of really wide open to everything that's come about with distortion on it. So
there you go. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, Jesse, let me clear something up. We do have a manager at this point.
Oh, you do? Sorry.
Yeah, Mark Edelman. He's but the thing is that Mark came out of the woodwork. Mark used to handle Megadeth when I was part of Megadeth.
Oh, there you go.
And
nice.
The woodwork that he came out of was, he just heard the record like you did, like just heard it on the radio, and he called up and he goes, I love this. there's no business to be done with it right now, but I'd certainly like to see see where we could go with it. So, I mean, we're putting a future in place. The plan really is for us to be ready to go
Yeah.
out there and start playing as soon as there's some place to go. So yeah, I mean, we're not babes in the woods. We're
Yeah. No.
definitely moving forward with that much of a plan. But as far as the immediate future goes, all there is the music and us. That's it. That's all we got.
Yeah, I get frothy at the mouth thinking of all you talented people. Just like, yeah, just whatever we want to do. Let's see what happens. I'm like, yeah, let's see what happens. I'm kind of that guy. Like, I'm pretty cool with bands. I like releasing whatever they want. Because also, for some reason, I don't really like it. Like, I'm not like this fan that forgets the old records. I don't know why fans always forget that. They're just like, what happened to the band I love? And they just throw all the records out the window and just forget they can listen to them again. Which I'm like, no, it's cool. I'll be here for the next one. They're still going to play the songs live. It's not like they just disappear, which is always weird to me. Maybe because I don't talk on blogs. That might be why.
Yeah, there's metal blogs.
Well, Jesse, society's being trained to to go through music one MP3 at a time now. And it's not really unlike when I grew up in the 60s and 70s. Yes, I'm that old. We in the 60s we used to go to the drugstore and buy 45 singles on a rack, just like you would buy comic books.
Jeez.
And I think that's kind of where we're at again. So, the fact that Myron is so prolific and we can just keep pounding out this music, it's the right time to be making music like this, because that's basically what people are consuming,
Yeah. Some people believe that singles are the way to go, like entirely. Like that people don't have the attention span to deal with an album. Like, the best song could be the 7th song on the album, but they cut out at 5 because, I gotta go eat donuts and watch Netflix or something. Like, it's just like they just like lose attention, which I can't say. I've done it before. It's pissed me off. I did that to a record I had, and like a month later, I actually listened to it fully. I'm like, are you shitting me? I had this the entire time, and I just didn't check it out. Like, but what about you two? Do you guys believe like singles are the way to go, or do you guys like doing the EP and the album still?
Chris?
Oh man, that's I'm probably as nebulous as anybody right now. I think what James is saying is correct. It's being consumed in a different manner than it used to be. I love the idea of sitting down with my eyes closed and listening to Operation Mindcrime from the beginning to the end. That still like is like a real special thing for me. That's just not one back in my day.
That's my job, Chris.
Right, okay. Back me up. But no, I don't think there is a way to go. I think everybody's guessing. And we are as well. We're not trying to lead the way. We're just, here's 5 tunes we feel really good about. I know we got more in the pipe, but, we're going to put out, a 70-song triple album in 2023. Like, let's just throw it out there and see what happens.
One thing's for sure, when touring starts up again, and I'm optimistic that it will some year, you're going to have an extremely exciting band who's very hungry to hit the stage, because this is an unnatural state, for all the bands. I've been touring for over 30 years, and I know Chris has been going, for a long time as well. And to address a musical career, because that's what we do. This is our lives, to address a musical career with this kind of a limitation, you can look at it as an opportunity, which I think is what we're operating under. But, eventually music is made to be played in the room with people, so we're still looking forward to that. So maybe I'm just musing here while we're sitting around, guys, but maybe spoon feeding people a song at a time is not a bad idea, because then they don't have the album cuts anymore to worry about.
Yeah. It seems like it. I remember some people are holding on to that. Like, I'm not going to name names, but I've heard interviews where people are like die-hard album. They're like, well, do you have to make an album? You have to do it. And I love albums still. I guess, like, I know I'm not the majority, but like, I do like put it on. I got a nice pair of headphones. I just lay on my bed occasionally. I'll just listen to like a new album that I like. And then, but like some people are kind of like I heard Henry Rollins does this. He like literally like has a notebook where he marks off what he listens to, and it's homework. And Sunday is his candy day. That's when he can listen to songs twice. But the week he listens to each song singular, like it's like his job. And I feel like that, yeah, you're right. People do that on Spotify or with playlists. Like it's not albums anymore, I guess. Yeah. But regardless, as long as you guys get new music, I'm pretty good. Yeah.
So since being in quarantine right now, have you guys been like taking up new tasks, maybe like new hobbies and stuff like that, or have you guys just been strictly working on your instrument in the band?
In my case, it's been less time than ever with my instrument. I volunteer for about 5 hours a day with a place called Habitat for Humanity,
Oh, nice.
helping kind of people around here, and really that's taken away time from the 3 kids, like I said, I have running around here and feeding the 2 animals that create lyrics for our songs. So I'm actually doing more kind of, when Lamb-O-God and I split, I was really, that was tough, but it was kind of this, for the whole time whatever it is that you're doing, grass is always greener somewhere else. So the whole time, once that band had kind of become its own thing and the ball was rolling down the hill, I always wondered, like, wouldn't it be nice to be home and have a barbecue with my friends? And, I'm losing touch with all these people, and I miss my wife and my kids and all that kind of thing. So when this strangely happened at the same time, but when this quarantine happened, like everybody's like, oh, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm sitting around the house, and it's like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. Now it's been, more than a few months, and I am itching, to do something and be kind of out there and travel. And I don't think I'll ever get rid of that bug. But, the grass is green kind of on both sides for me. And now I have the opportunity to kind of, and James will probably tell you the same thing. We can do this or not do it and just have fun doing it. We are enjoying each other right now, and let's keep doing it. And I do think, like James said, there is a lot of interest all of a sudden because of this EP and us going out and doing something. And for 2 of us, that's a whole new venture in life. Well, Girish has a band in India, and he's done very well with that. And so he travels around India, but I don't think he's ever been out of the country. Myron, I don't think has ever been on a tour in his life. Wow. So this is, it's change in circumstance kind of for all of us. And it, again, we did it for us, but it's turning into something that we might be able to go out there and have some fun with. So, yeah.
And what about you, James?
My downtime's full. Very, very full.
Full schedule. And James, what about for you? Have you been full schedule as well?
Well, here's the thing. My wife is finishing her book, which is the New Bohemian Women. It's a wonderful story about all these women that we've met that inspire us. And so she's made this compilation of their stories. And when she started it, this is a couple of years ago, she goes, well, you're a good photographer. You take the photos. Let's do this together. And it was a great opportunity for us to work together. So I've got a backlog of, literally like 25, 30 photos that I have to post-process. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that. We've also been taking photos, wearing masks and all that stuff, going to people's homes and, getting these kind of, these portraits that we need for the book. So this is great because I would have normally just been touring all this time. So it's given me an opportunity to do that. On top of that, I still get calls to do recordings at home. And now that people know I'm home, I get a lot more of those. So, and I cherish that because, I get to hear other people's music and contribute to it. And it's, it helps me make a living as well at home.
Is that your studio right behind you? Is that like actually where you get to record?
Yeah. This is my room where I do all this stuff. Yeah. If I turn around the camera, you'll see the speakers and all the gear and all that stuff. But
that's sweet.
So, I enjoy this. Like Chris, I have to say, man, I've been touring forever, but I mean, over the past 3 or 4 years, summer's been pretty busy. I've been with John Fogerty, and he tours a lot for a guy in his 70s. He loves it, man. And so I haven't really been home that much. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword because I'm really loving just kind of getting up in the morning and just kind of savoring a cup of coffee in my own home and, sitting down and, having a nice chat with my wife and talk with my daughter and just
Yeah.
kind of get in here and do some work, you know?
Chris, do you have your own studio as well?
I do. I've got an electronic kit. It's not hidden behind these doors. It's different place in the house with a little setup, and that's kind of how we've been doing everything. Is back and forth, whether it be Zoom or just files online, and here's what do you think of this and all that stuff. So for me, it's I got lucky on one of the last Lamb of God albums that we did. I got an endorsement with Roland, and they're like, well, we would send you like a electronic kit to play, and they sent me like this little 5-piece trap kit, and the producer's like, no, it's fine, you'll figure it out. I was like, what? like I know I want to be a good carpenter and not blame my tools, but like I'm gonna knock this whole thing over, and what are we not doing double bass on this record? Like, what's happening? And so after a couple of phone calls, they actually sent me like a replica of my but my spaceship kit.
Wow.
With all the Roland stuff. So when I sit down, it's really all the same. And I've got that kind of MIDI hooked up into the computer. We did on the last Lamb of God record that I did, we did a MIDI pack with tune tracks. So it actually triggers my exact kit from the studio. So it's pristine sounds right away, right out of the gate. And Myron and I go back and forth like that, and then get James involved and kind of mix it from there.
So with these new songs, are they going to be like, not vastly different from the EP, but are they going to be like, different?
There's an evolution there. They're not vastly different, no. But there is an evolution, and I think we spoke to it a little bit earlier, in us really understanding each other a little bit more and what we are capable of, and enabling it. Like I said early on, Myron probably figured like, well, maybe this isn't heavy enough to send over to Chris.
Okay.
Now that all that has kind of faded away. So that's not to say that the stuff is not as heavy, but I think we're a lot more wide open with ideas.
Of course. That makes sense. I'm going to bring into a nice little segment we have on the show. We call it the 3 random silly questions. They're short and sweet questions. You guys ready to take part in this?
Nobody said there'd be questions.
Yeah, I know.
If you just ended the call right there, I would have lost my mind.
All
No
right, sorry,
questions.
guys, gotta go.
He left. He actually left. What?
Considering you guys been on so many tours and you guys been doing this for so many years, I'm gonna ask you, what is the best tour prank that you guys have been part of or witnessed while on tour? And James, we could start with you.
Oh my God, there's so many, but one of the best. And I did a couple of records with Michael Sweet over the years from Striper. And he's just a wonderful guy. I respect the hell out of him. Great musician. And I don't say that. I'm not just throwing that out because I'm on radio. He's really great. Anyway, but White Lion back in '88 toured with Striper. And we did like a theater run. And we ended up, the last show was in Washington, and Chris knows that at the ends of long tours with anybody, there's usually a prank night. And I don't recommend it, but we've been doing it forever, so I guess it's what you do. So we decided to come up with some really interesting pranks for Striper. Of course, Striper had come up with some pranks for us. Anyway, I'll try to make this as short and succinct as I can because it's a fairly long story. But we played in this theater in Washington. It was just like a movie theater with a good side stage. White Line at the time, we had our big aluminum riser rig. So the drums were up on the top, and there were like these angled metal aluminum things that we can kind of run up and down on them. And so their idea was to, the Striper, we went on before them, we were flip-flopping. Their idea was to cover up the aluminum riser with backstage passes, which not only stick on one side, but are slippery as ice on the other.
Oh my God.
And so since it was a kind of small stage, the ramps came right up to the edge. So it was really tough to even, play the show without falling on our asses or anything. So that was our last set. So now we had some great ideas for them that we had already planned. If you remember, Striper used to throw out Bibles to the audience. Our T-shirt guy got in on this. We asked him to run to the newsstand outside, and he came back with as many Penthouse forums as he could find. And
That's awesome.
He put a rubber devil's mask on. And so during their set, when they were about to hand out the Bibles, he comes running out with his devil's mask and starts checking out these forums. And it was like he was pretty conscientious because he was looking out going, you're too young. There you go. You know, so he was like actually doing the thing. But so anyway, so the next thing that we did, and this is something that I had planned from watching Warner Brothers cartoons all my life. Robert, the drummer, he had a fireman's pole in front of his drum set on the drum riser so that he could actually, after he do a solo, he would grab onto it and kind of, you know, do a little twirl and slide down and, you know, in the audience, which was, you know, kind of schmaltzy, but it was their thing. It was fun, right? Yeah. So we got some KY jelly and lubed it really good. So it was something, it was just like out of a Warner Bros. He got on that thing, it was like, you know. And then the pièce de résistance. They were just, now back in the day, that's when people started using samplers, you know, to embellish their vocals. Mm-hmm. I think even we did, even White Lion did. We only had one other singer besides Mike, so it didn't hurt. But, you know, they had those bigger than God vocals back in the day. And they had a guy with a big and sonic sampler on the side of the stage, and he would play the keys with the vocals as the band played. And so we ran to the back of the stage while they were about to do the big encore song, which was, I think, Soldiers or something like that. And their manager comes and gets right in front of me and the drummer, and me and Greg. And he goes, don't touch the samplers, please. And we said, no, we're not going to touch the samplers at all. And so, you know, so they're just about to walk up to the mic, and Greg and I run on equal sides of the stage and pull the cables out of the mics. Oh. And so there they are singing with 1,000. The guy didn't, you know, the guy could have just not played and it would have been fine, but he went for it. And so there were a billion vocals going out there, and, you know, the audience was kind of, you know, Michael shot me a look that was not a very godly look. And I think Oz Fox thought it was hysterical, which is actually the effect that I was hoping it would have on them. And since then, he's forgiven me, obviously. Yeah. So that was about that was the most extreme stuff that I can remember doing.
That's so solid.
From Frank World.
Jeez, you guys are going hard.
Yeah.
Jeez. Awesome.
Yeah, I got nothing on that.
Can't lead up.
No. I mean, there's been pranks here and there. I remember on the Megadeth tour that Lamb of God did with them, Dave, who's eccentric guy, wonderful guy. He had his way during the day where, you know, it's like, well, I'm going to wake up and, you know, towards the end, as the show's going to go on, you might find Dave maybe walking down the hallway in a nice bathrobe with a glass of wine and that kind of thing. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe when I grow up, I'll do the same thing. It's pretty cool. Last night of that tour, my brother, Willie, went out and bought the same robe that Dave had a glass of wine.
I do remember that. I remember
dyed his hair red and just started strolling across the stage. While but that was pretty good.
How did Dave take that?
He took it very well. I remember it well. I actually thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That is awesome. Yeah, Dave actually has a really good personality. He was on the Joshua show, and he was so funny on there. He was actually telling stories about tour and whatnot. And, he seems like a fun guy to be touring with. What would you say is the best time you guys had on tour with any of your bands?
You know what? I mean,
the entire career. Sum it up in one sentence, James.
Yeah, what can you say? I mean, if I start, I mean, it's easier to say, oh, this really sucked, but I mean, still, you know, I've been doing this for 30 years, and you know, you get in front of an audience and you play music, which is all you've ever wanted to do, and since you were a little guy, you know, it's all ups, man. You know, so it's really, you know,
something I have
answer for that.
Something I have in common with James, which was particularly unique. And something I'll probably never forget was at the end of this Hail tour, the Lebanon airport had been taken over by the military at that point, so we could not fly into there for the next show of shows that we were going to do. So in the end, the promoters got scared of what was going to happen in the Middle East, and we got sent home a little bit early. But the headmaster, if you will, of the tour came and said, hey, you know, got to send you home. And I was like, okay, well, you know, what are you doing? Like, you going home too? And he's like, you know what? I've never been to Egypt, and I want to go. I was like, you know what? I'm not supposed to be home for like another week and a half, and I'd like to go to Egypt too. I'll pay for my ticket. Like, screw it, man. Let's do it. Apparently, James said the same thing, and within 2 days, James and I are next to each other on four-wheelers rolling through the Sahara Desert, which is
so sick.
definitely not something that I thought would ever happen when I started playing drums. So that's a huge highlight.
I'm not a Kardashian, but I'm on my phone. I want to see if I have a picture to show you guys. Ask Chris another question, quick. Oh, look, here we go. Let's see. I think we're on camels at this point. Hold on a minute. Coming back.
So sick. Just to have the opportunity to do that.
They traveled across desert by bike, by quad, by camel.
Here's Chris on his
damn.
camel. Yeah.
Dude.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Chilling on some camels.
Yeah, and on the camel you rode in on, pal.
Okay, and for the last question, what is your favorite breakfast food? Nice and simple. That's a good picture. Or video.
What side of the planet are we on?
I don't know. I'll let you decide that.
Gee.
I got to go with Huevos Rancheros.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. I'll tell you what, man. I was touring when the pandemic started, so I was reticent to leave my hotel room, which, is not something I recommend because you can get really pretty lonely in those rooms. Yeah. But just a little Quest cookie bar, like a protein bar.
Yeah.
Like it's the quickest, easiest way I could figure out not to have that. Chris, you know what this is, man. You end up in a new city, right? You get in really late and you get up and you got to get and do sound check in about 2 or 3 hours, right? And then you're like, I don't know where I am. I don't know where the food is. God damn it. And I got to get dressed and all that. So my breakfast choice is a protein bar half the time because there's always some coffee or something in the room,
yeah.
you know? Right. And I could just kind of do that until I can make my way to the catering. I guess.
That's why James weighs 85 pounds.
And growing, yes.
I'm still growing.
Oh, man. Well, that was the random silly question segment. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And before... Sorry, what was that?
I said, well, thanks. I thought that was it.
No, before we let you go, is there any other upcoming plans that you just want to mention to your fans or you just want to state?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'll be appearing in this room apparently for the next 4 or 5 months. So just check in and see me here.
James will be there all week apparently. It's actually I'm just getting it now. Actually, it's his home apparently. He's
I hope the fumigation goes well there.
It's going to be done one day, apparently, if you watch all of our interviews. It just keeps going.
You're just making crack in there. Don't tell me. I know what you're
Well,
saying.
you get furloughed. You have to make money somewhere. So.
That's great.
Oh,
but
awesome.
guys, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for so much for doing this, and best of luck on getting shows back and putting out that new record. I'm excited to hear what you guys have next in store.
Oh, dude, 100%
Chris,
an honor.
Jesse, thank you. Now I'm gonna go.
All right, you two guys have a great day. Be safe. Thank you so much for being on the show. Oh, you got in the elevator?
Yeah. Taking the elevator.
That's sick. Bye, guys.
See you guys. Thank you so much. Everyone be safe.
And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience podcast right now. Your host, Chris. You got Jesse here. What's up, dog?
We back. How's it going?
And I hope you guys enjoyed that nice little interview with Chris Adler and James LoMenzo of Firstborne.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was completely an honor to have those guys on there. Like I said, just between those two, I think there's 13, 14 albums, not even including demos.
Yeah.
Because Chris has 5 or 6 set. He has a lot of demos from bands he had before Lamb of God.
Just big bands already. He had Megadeth. Well, actually, he didn't. He just toured with them. Right?
No, he recorded.
What did he record with Megadeth?
Dystopia. He got a Grammy for it.
Well, oh wow, okay. I knew he toured that whole album, but I didn't realize he was on it.
He started with I think it was Testament. He recorded one track, and then he did Protests, and then Megadeth.
Yeah, I know he did Protest and Megadeth. I just didn't know he actually recorded on Megadeth. Wow, look at me. Just talked to the guy too.
Yeah, no, it's pretty legend. Yeah, again, totally an honor. These, it's just like, you know, like I was telling you before, dude. It's just like, how do I say this? Just like the experience, you know. Like just with James alone, like that guy is like a hired gun. He's been in a bunch of bands. He's been in bands for multiple years at a time, but
he's the guy you call when you need something bass recorded.
That guy's everywhere, dude. And we didn't even touch on, he has Kenny Aronoff, who's a very, very, very accomplished drummer. Him and Kenny have like a rhythm section recording thing, so you can hire them and they'll record bass and drums for your project.
Let's do it.
I didn't get to ask them, right? Just like, hey, can you record some? For what? We don't got a guitar, but, you know, just record it. Just send us drums and bass.
Want you guys.
Just want you in my computer. Yeah, no, and it's crazy. And that's, you know, man. Yeah, that's why I was so interested to see where Firstborne goes. Like, I know they were like, we're not going to, like, deviate too far. But I was like, oh, man, I want to see what these guys can do. Because it's just, like, there's so much experience. And they just such good songwriting experience, too. It's not even, like, because some people think just technical skill, you know?
Yeah.
This guy can shred. It's like, yeah, like, that doesn't always matter. It's like technical in the aspect they can play their instruments very well, but also technical in the fact that they're really good songwriters. So they can also put together a song. So even for people that may or may not like the way songs sound, it's like, yeah, but there's also an art just to put those together. And, you know, the way the people that are in that band, it's like, they can't get that wrong.
Wasn't it great how they met too? He just picked them all up. He's like, hey, I got a singer now.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. And it's just like, yeah, like what's it called? Like the comparison I said, it's like running out the door, like getting your pants on as you run out the door to work. It's just like, here's a song, here's a track. I met you. Like a band came together on planes, basically. And then apparently they went to fucking Egypt right after, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, how cool is that? That was awesome. It's actually cool too when he showed the picture. I was like, there you go.
And you can actually see it too. I was like, man, I feel like phones never show up on the camera. So
well,
it's just like
when he actually has a decent camera.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Again, total big honor to have those guys on. And I'm looking forward to. Also, we didn't even have to ask the question, but yeah, like it's cool that they're like pretty. What do you call it? Well, their minds are set. They're going to tour when it comes around to it. It's going to be pretty dope.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. St. Vitus, here they come.
Yeah, well, St. Vitus should be good because they like have a lot of crowdfunding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep it open. If there's one venue that survives this in New York,
let it be St. Vitus.
St. Vitus and maybe Irving Plaza, just because of the memories.
That's true. And Irving Plaza just renovated too, right? Didn't they just open?
Yeah, no.
Reopened?
I don't know if they just opened, but
reopened.
Yeah, like, dude, if you think back to Irving Plaza, dude, there's some of my, at least personally, there's some of my favorite concert memories there.
Mastodon.
Yeah, Crack the Sky Mastodon. We saw Lamb of God when they did their club tour for Resolution.
Yes.
I think it was them, Acacia Strain, and some other band, which was so crazy. It was like Acacia Strain and fucking Lamb of God. And
I just remember that show being insane. Like, you couldn't move.
It was awesome.
Like, it was packed, and it was a pit, and it was hot. I just remember I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. Well, then you had the Colors 10-year.
Oh,
All the Def shows.
You also got to see Lamb of God at Starlight Ballroom, too. So
yeah, but Irving Plaza is different in the sense that, like, Starland is, in essence, Starland's actually not that small, but what they let you do is get close. And you can see.
It's wide, not long like Irving.
Yeah, but Irving makes it feel smaller because it's longer and thinner. So, like, when you're in the middle of the crowd, you're like, dude, this is a tiny club. Irving sucks when you make the decision to go get a beer.
Yeah.
Because then you look back, you're like, I'm fucked. Like,
it's all the way in the back.
Yeah, it blows ass cheeks. Like, that's when Irving Plaza sucks bad.
Starland, you just turn around and you're like, thank you.
Yeah. Starland only really blow. Well, actually, no. Both those venues suck when it's sold out because Starland, it gets brutal.
Well, I
all
was gonna say,
elbows, and you're bumping into the bar. You got nowhere to go. Like, you're getting pushed into the bathroom in Starland, basically. Like, if it's sold out, like truly sold out. I've only been to 2 shows there that felt sold out. Like, I knew were sold out, and that was Killswitch Off Date Mayhem 2008, I think. Yeah, it was Killswitch, Drop for Cowboy, Whitechapel, and literally it was a war zone the entire time. It was amazing. I think that actually still might be my favorite concert for Metal Teddy Bear Experience trivia down the line when we're that famous. People care enough. And it was that show. Oh, and then the other sold out was Parkway Drive, which you just, like, on a whim, you're like, you want to go? I was like, sure. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, we were in our normal spots, and it was pretty uncomfortable. Usually the spots are pretty – that spot's pretty good. That spot only sucks when it's sold out. Like, literally everyone was surrounding us. It was like –
nobody.
Yeah. It's stage left. Yeah, dude. It's yeah, I hope everyone. Actually, not. I'll take it back. I hope no venues close out, even though most concerts are moving
you don't want
out.
any venue to close. Come on.
Yeah, but also most concerts are moving out of Manhattan anyway, so as long as St. Vice stays open. Yeah, I feel like I barely actually, all the concerts I was going to in the summer, none of them were going to be at the small venues.
I mean, they were all pretty big bands.
I know, that's what I mean, though. Like, isn't that kind of crazy that no small band I wanted to see?
Passed, like, I think 2 days ago or something like that. Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was like, wow, I got that update.
Well, you know what passed yesterday?
What's that?
Rage Against the Machine. I'm just kidding. Just like, no, that was. Is this the week they did, or is this the end of the shows?
I think it was the week.
Yeah, it's because they were going about 6 or 7 days.
No, I think it was 4.
No,
Rage did more.
It was an entire week, I think, and then it went to the next Monday.
What? I guess they added more dates after sold out. It sold. They had like 2 dates.
Adding dates. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I thought it went up to 4 or 5, not like a whole week.
Well, I thought it's 5 to 7. No. It's awesome, and yeah, I'm just still flabbergasted, dude. It was great having those two on, and
yeah,
it almost kind of wish we had them on separately because it's like you can ask each one so many questions.
Yeah, really.
And I know, yeah, like there was a lot of things I wanted to ask them separately too. Where I was just like, yeah, damn it. I was just like, you can't always ask, like, because I really wanted to know about, like, yeah, like the Kenny Aronoff thing, dude. Because Kenny Aronoff's gangster. He did stuff with Ray Luzier of Korn. And then Chris Adler just, he's my fucking dude. And let's go over that.
I didn't pulled up his snare drum right behind you. Like,
I should have done that.
We have props.
Can you sign it for me? But yeah, like he's the fucking man. And also, I will say, comparatively to other podcasts, for how important this guy is to my metal journey, I didn't suck him off that much. I only really kind of blew him at the beginning there a little bit.
Yeah, you probably did more when you talked to Kadeem and Loathe.
Yeah, I think that was probably the most, because I started it and I was like, well, it's already out there. I'm a fanboy. I might as well follow this through to the end.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, it's awesome. And yeah, I thought the record was pretty good, especially like the first time around it was pretty good, but when I listened to it like a couple times in a row, like those riffs get stuck in your head. And also, like, yeah, that breakdown at the end really surprises you. I remember I was like,
you can check out all their stuff on their Bandcamp. They actually have a Bandcamp, which is so important, I feel, for bands. If you don't have a Bandcamp, do it. Unless like your label won't let you or something. But if you have the option to actually get a Bandcamp, you should do it.
Yeah, especially while they're doing it within the year, because they're still doing that free
Friday.
The Friday thing.
I missed it. It was actually a couple of days ago, and I missed it.
I think I'm running out of stuff to buy.
No, man. There's always good music out there. That's what you keep saying.
Yeah, I know, but it's like,
every time I die stuff, they're on.
I look at vinyl. So when it doesn't have vinyl, I'm like, damn it! And I just search for vinyl, and I found it. But I think a lot of signed bands, like, I don't think
they get
like
it.
Acacia Strain was on it, and I was like, are they still on this record label? Like, you see the record label in the bottom, and I was like,
Acacia Strain is on Rise.
Yeah, I don't remember what it said, but they had a vinyl for Continent, and it looked dope. It was like they had crazy ass colors for it. And I was like,
so many colors, bro.
Your boy, super unemployment went away, so it's kind of tough to continuously buy $30 records every freaking like 5 of them. in a row on every Friday, like every first Friday.
Yeah. I
But
get
yeah,
that.
pretty good. I enjoyed the podcast. It was awesome that they came up, and if for some reason they're watching this, thank you so much for coming on again.
Thank you. Yeah, it was
And
always a pleasure.
I appreciate James for taking the elevator out too. What a gentleman.
Dude, that was boss. Him just like leaving like that. That was
He's
pretty
like,
good.
and he's gone. Also, I like the confidence. I was like, they'll hang up. I don't need to hang up. You know, we should have called his bluff. Made it awkward. Just waited
Stay
for
there,
him.
just stared.
It's like, I'll watch. And he's like, oh, no, I actually really wanted to stop talking to you guys. I'm like, okay. All right. Children, please leave. All right. Thanks. Thanks, Dad.
Bye, Chris.
Well,
But hope you guys enjoyed the show. And remember, you can catch Jesse with his nice little React channel. I think he reacted to Firstborne, right? You guys can check it out on the link below.
No.
Okay, don't roll with it.
I didn't. No.
Dude,
I reacted
you
to
have it.
I think I already listened to all of them. I've been
Anyway.
listening to the record outside. I did react to Godra, though, Another World. That sounds pretty good.
Cool.
You didn't like it?
No, I mean, like, the song was good. Your action, though.
My reaction was shit?
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Trying to make you look bad now.
that sucks.
No, it was very good. I'm glad Gojira put something out. It's been a while. Their record is like recorded, so I can't wait to hear that. If you follow them on social media, you can see that. I mean, they have their own studio and they live in Brooklyn, so why not, right?
All of them? That was just the
No.
brothers.
Yeah, the brothers, but like it's really not that hard to record stuff from far away. And I think they were recording for it like for a while. I mean, they haven't done anything. Magma was what, like almost 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's also, well, actually, speaking of recording from home, though, I'm jealous, dude. Dude, because I saw this.
The monster kit Chris Adler has?
Yeah, the electric kit, because I saw first Black Dahlia Murder, Alan. I think Alan Cassidy. Yeah, he has just like Chris, he has a copy of his set. Everything is the same on his electric kit that is on his acoustic kit. Obviously, the cymbals are sometimes smaller, but they're all in the same places. And I was like, that's pretty gangster. But then, like, what the extra flex is? It's like, I'm going to have the same exact kit I have electrically that I do acoustically. It's like, that's cool. But I also have my triggers that I made. So it's going to be the exact same sound, and it's never going to go out of tune. I'm like, oh. Like, he definitely earned it, but I'm jelly. I'm like, man, imagine just having.
jelly.
But I guess no, he had to put the work in to make that. Me, I just get talented people to make me sounds, and I buy them. So, joke's on you. I sound pretty good. None of the talent. I just plug in and hit play. Get good drums. But no. Yeah.
No free ads.
It's like, yeah, right. I was like, please sponsor me. I need one. I'm with the other packs. They're really expensive. I need help.
Well, we're going to wrap this up right now. Thank you guys for listening. And remember, like, subscribe, smash the like button, all that good stuff. And
dude.
If there's someone you want on the show, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. And then also, because Chris wasn't nice enough to let me do it, youtube.com/c/Insid1, my YouTube, Insid stream, Twitter, and Instagram. Boom, stole it from you. And Twitch Insid. And then get my boy over here, dude. You're on the channel. If you're watching this, you're on the channel. Hit subscribe. Smash the like button. Comment. Even if it's to hate us. Comment.
Yeah, we like haters. Jesse likes them.
As long as it's above board, it's above the waist, you keep it gentleman. You can insult the shit out of us. Call me. I'm getting so fat my eyes are closing, dude. You can say things like this. We're cool. We'll roll with it.
After we cry.
Yeah, after I cry. Every time, dude, my eyes have been getting smaller and smaller. Every time I laugh and I'm getting fatter, like just I looks like I'm like every time I laugh, it looks like someone flashed my face with a flashlight.
Every time I laugh, the new band by Jesse.
Every time I laugh, Jesse's comedy album in vein of Every Time I Die. The worst comedian of all time. Nah, it's gonna be awesome. All right, thank you so much,
guys.
All right, Chris has got a radio show.
Peace.
Plug your radio show.
No, man, no radio show. Not kidding.
Radio show Tuesday.
Yeah, if you guys like what you hear, you can tune in at 90.3 WMSC. It's on Mixcloud.com as well. Metal Teddy Bear Experience, MTV Experience. You can find it all there. So
damn right. And then
Tuesday
also
night, 7 to 10.
And Thursdays is when the podcast comes out, and on everywhere you listen to podcasts. There we go.
Yeah.
Professional as hell. Also, and then I don't know. They made me feel bad about my fumigation tent, my crystal meth hiding fumigation tent.
Yeah, they were rocking you for that. I loved it.
Yeah, they were wrecking me, dude. But hey, I'm ingenuity, dude. Who tried to attach Velcro strips learned that you can't attach Velcro strips to cloth because it just comes off, and then zip tied cardboard to the cloth so I could put Velcro strips on the cardboard to stick it up on the ceiling, so I could take it off and on without sticking thumbtacks into my ceiling.
Smart, man.
Because that's how I used to do it.
Probably
Now
just
there's
put up some posters.
I can't. There's no. Look at it. It's just, that's also a Velcro. I could drop it like a cloth. Like what was it? What is Slayer open?
It looks more like
Oh, like war symbol. Just
it looks like a green screen, bro.
really? When I just drop it down?
Yeah, it doesn't look real.
It looks pretty shitty, dude. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. But oh, look at my rock lamp.
Nice.
Yeah, my salt rock lamp. I didn't know that thing melts. I left it on, and it was just like a little salt residue coming down. I was like, oh, it melts? I was like, oh, no, my chakras. I wanted them aligned. I thought that's what the Himalayan salt lamp does. I didn't know it was going to melt and start a fire. So I probably have to throw that out. Yeah, I started licking it. I started licking it to get magnesium and other I'm kidding. I never. It's from Home
And
Essentials.
that's where we wrap this up.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
no,
guys.
we're out.
Bye.